So this building is both the storage facility for the collection and also exhibition space. And to balance the two was a great challenge with the added important ambition of helping to urbanize downtown LA. Los Angeles, as you know, empties out, and these cultural institutions here are sometimes really without a center of gravity, and I think more and more with Disney Hall and now with our building, MoCA across the street, there is more of a center of gravity in downtown. So a building that's really generous to the public and truly public should be transparent, it should be open to the street and so forth. The challenge was that because of the size of this storage facility here for the collection, which has a whole different set of needs relative to urban challenges, it was always a bit of tug of war. In addition, we have this fantastic building to our south, Disney Hall, which is very sculpturally exuberant. Our site is much smaller, much lower, and we have a lot of program to go into it. So we made a kind of concept that comprises what we call the veil and the vault. And the vault is basically the housing for the collection, and it sits right in the middle of the building. You walk under it, you shoot through it in the escalator, you stand on top of it. We're standing on top of it right now. You can wind your way through it and look into pre-curated art. On top of the vault is what we call the veil, and it's a five-sided facade that absorbs light. It brings light in from Grand Avenue, its corners, the top, and it's meant to be a kind of contrast to Disney Hall, which is shiny and smooth, and this is absorptive and matte, and it's very different. It's a relation of contrast. So Grand Avenue, which is the main drag here, is actually 45 degrees off of the north-south grid. So when we started with this property, we first just figured out the north is at almost 45 degrees. The skylights are facing the north. And the geometries then resolve themselves to come to the urban edges on all four sides. And that was part of a really, big architectural trick to do that. But we also wanted that natural light to come in from Grand Avenue and actually just as much as we could to the north and to the south, to have that sense of presence of LA. Most museums are opaque to the street, they're cut off. Light is not usually welcome too much. But we designed this in a way where the light is superbly filtered. We have a kind of every square foot on this 1 acre floor plate receives the same amount of indirect light. But you still sense when a cloud comes over, you sense when you come close to the right close to the veil, you see little small views, framed views of the street and public and cars and so forth. So you really feel, and even the Gary Disney Hall. So you feel that presence constantly. But one of the big ambitions architecturally here was to also have a single acre, which is entirely column-free. So there's absolutely no structure that reaches the ground, and it goes about 70 meters, a little less than 70 meters in both directions. And these walls are all movable, so the next show could have fewer walls or more walls, and will be ultimately flexible in its life. But to us, it was a very, very important dramatical idea to come from the light of the street through the vault, with its opacity and mystery, and come up to a kind of sublime surface with natural light and the art, and then to come back down, and this is where all of the circulation actually converges the fast elevator, the slow stair, and the semi-fast escalator all gets to the same point. So it's very intuitive in terms of how you circulate here. You always know where you are.